Hi, how are you? You're listening to the Good Enough Human show on Circle 8 Radio, produced in association with We Are Chester. Your co-hosts for this week's show are me, Angela Ferguson, and Antonia Jones. We'll be sharing some uplifting music and news of some of the array of good stuff to see and do in and around Chester as we ease ourselves out of lockdown. We're blessed to have a whole host of businesses and local entertainment venues in and around the city, and we'll be talking about some of the things that we are particularly looking forward to doing in the near future. This has certainly been a big week, with shops reopening and restaurants, cafes and pubs able to serve outdoors. The city is really coming back to life, and it's brilliant to see. And of course, the borders with North Wales have reopened, so we can now head out to enjoy the Welsh countryside and seaside, which we've missed so much. And people living in North Wales can come over the border and back to explore Chester's shops and cafes and the likes of the city walls and the river. So it's good news.
Yeah, it's brilliant news for Chester and for the whole of England. You're a little bit ahead of us in Wales, so at the moment you can't go into beer gardens and cafes and enjoy food and drink outside. But I've been looking on social media today. It's been a lovely day here in Wales, and I've noticed over the border in Chester as well, it's been really sunny. And I think everyone's been enjoying. I think quite a few people have taken the day off, which is lucky. I should have done that. Enjoying the beer gardens. I saw that Popcorn, they'd opened up outside and there was lots of people there enjoying cocktails, and it just looked like a really good atmosphere. I think the whole community spirit's back in the city by the looks of it on social media. All the restaurants and cafes that I follow look like they were delighted to be open today after such a long time, and it's great. I noticed actually Tesco's, I don't know if you've seen the advert. So Tesco's have got a billboard advert which they usually take up to obviously advertise their own product. But today it was a really nice, thoughtful ad that they put out, and it's great for their marketing. They said shop local, so ignore the big likes of us for the time being and concentrate on shopping local. I thought that was really nice.
I did notice that. That's a lovely gesture, isn't it? Really lovely gesture. Yeah. Well done, Tesco.
Yeah, so their whole advertising for this week is about support your local stores, because they've not had any business for so many months really. So so I think in Wales we're a little bit behind. I think the 26th are outdoor facilities open for drink and food outside. So I'm looking forward to it, but I will definitely be popping over to Chester this weekend.
Yeah, of course, because my mum and dad and brother are in North Wales, and they've got to wait that bit longer, unless, like you, they come over to Chester. And I've been looking at pictures today on social media and being really jealous of people who've booked the day off and enjoying a coffee in the sun, a beer in the sun outside pubs, and having a meal.
For granted, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So exciting times, blue skies ahead. Yes.
Yeah, you're listening to the Good Enough Human show on Circle 8 Radio. So one of the things we've been really looking forward to, myself and Angela, is the opening of our theatres, and one in particular, Story House in Chester, is opening up again for library users very soon, and I think we'll definitely be first there, Angela, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to get back there. It's opened its doors again, and you can go and you can take books back. You can take books out if you enjoy using the library. You can grab a coffee or a bite to eat to take away. In the lead up to the reopening of the Story House more extensively as we go into the summer. For example, I think the 17th of May, live events return there, which I'm really excited about. I don't know about you, Antonia, but it feels like it's been a long time.
It has, and for all these actors and actresses, it's just so hard, and just delighted for them to be back doing what they love, really.
It's going to be a bit surreal, isn't it, when we're sort of able to sit And, for starters, even something as simple as have a coffee indoors in Story House, and never mind go to the cinema there, or to listen to music. There's so many events coming up at Story House and at Grosvenor Park Open Air Theatre over the summer. So live events return 17th of May. And if you remember, Antonia, a bit earlier on in one of our shows for Circulate and our podcast, we chatted to Emily from Belle Voce, the opera duo, who are both from Chester and were finalists on TV talent show on ITV, The Voice, back in 2018, mentored by Jennifer Hudson. So they have had a tough lockdown like the rest of us. They haven't been able to sing. Emily told us that she'd almost put her opera singing in a box and compartmentalised it and put it away for now and focused on her catering business, because she just couldn't sing, couldn't go back on stage again. It was too painful, the thought of trying to sort of keep up her practice in the meantime. So she's coming back to it after a long break, but she's really excited. Sophie and Emily from Belle Voce, both from Chester, as we say, are returning to Story House in Chester on the 18th of June to give a performance. And I cannot wait for that. I really hope to be able to get tickets.
Yeah, so I missed some at the cathedral at Christmas. I know from the last podcast, she said it was quite a surreal experience then after so long. So I bet they're so excited for June.
Oh, they are. And I think our fellow radio show and podcast host, Sarah Dine, has seen Belle Voce a few times. Lucky her. But
really lucky.
Can't wait. Hope to get to that. So if you do want to listen in again to our interview with Emily, it's available via the We Are Chester website or via our usual podcast channels of Podbean, Spotify or iTunes. Also coming up at Story House, there's some folk music to look forward to, which is being curated by writer, musician and broadcaster Mark Radcliffe. And he'll be presenting a series of established and emerging folk acts on the 3rd and the 25th of June. On the 3rd of June, there'll be a performance called The Breath, with music from musicians including Stuart McCallum. And for drama buffs, there's a play called Madame Ovary being staged 21st to the 23rd of May, starring Rosa Hesmond-Halsh. And the play is apparently based on her experience of being diagnosed with ovarian cancer at the age of 23. So that sounds a very powerful show. Yeah. And it's a bit of a family affair for the Hesmond-Halsh family at Story House in May, as it turns out, because Rosa Hesmond-Halsh's aunt, Julie Hesmond-Halsh, also known as a star of Coronation Street, is bringing her acclaimed one-woman show, The Greatest Play in the History of the World, to Story House from the 26th to the 30th of May. And apparently it tells the story of two neighbours and the people who live on their street. And it also looks at the nuances of life, the possibilities of science and the meaning of love. Sounds fascinating.
Sounds really good.
Yeah. There's dance coming up if you're into dance. Rambert 2 will be performing at Story House 8th to the 9th of June. With 11 young ballet dancers gracing the stage. That sounds incredible. And moving on later in the summer, there's a chance to climb every mountain or something like that when Kendal Mountain Festival Tour comes to town on the 2nd of July, with stories from around the world told by an array of travellers, athletes, activists and creatives. And of course, it goes without saying that whilst theatres will be opening up and all sorts of entertainment venues, there will, of course, be social distancing measures to keep us safe in the meantime. So a lot to look forward to there. A lot of good stuff coming up.
It's nice to see it opening back up. Obviously, it's not as busy as it would usually be, but it's nice to get the odd thing back on. I'll definitely be watching a few of those, fingers crossed.
Yeah, brilliant. So to find out more about what's happening at Story House and to book tickets, you can visit storyhouse.com. And we should also mention here briefly as well that we can't talk about good stuff to see and do in Chester without also mentioning our ever popular open air theatre. which is always a popular one. I think last year I wasn't lucky enough to get to see it, but
No,
it's
me
sold
neither.
out. Yeah, I think it sold out really quickly, didn't it, last
Did,
year?
yeah. I
So
think it's going to be even more popular this year with obviously people encouraged to go outdoors. So yeah, I think everyone will
definitely.
be trying to scramble for tickets.
Yeah, and get the old picnics,
Oh
prosecco or
yeah,
something sparkling, and get on the
yeah.
chairs and cozy and get together with loved
I'm looking
ones.
forward to the Jungle Book. I am.
Oh, that sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's in
Yeah.
May, isn't it? On the 29th, I think.
Yes, I think it is. Yeah, and it's an adaptation of the classic Rudyard Kipling tale, produced by playwright Glyn Maxwell, who's produced a few adaptations for Grosvenor Park Open Air Theatre before. I think including Wind in the Willows.
Oh,
Um,
really?
but yeah, that's going to be an excellent one. And it's always
Yeah.
fun, isn't it, to see how they make use of the space, the sort of theatre in the round and the
Yeah.
open air.
Because it's
Yeah.
not that big, is it? When
No,
everyone's in there. So, and especially with social distancing measures, it will be a quite small stage. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Jungle Book.
yeah, and I think it always really entertains me and impresses me with the fact that the actors are they're true triple threats, aren't they? They can act, they can sing, they can play
Dance.
instruments,
Yeah.
they can
It's like the
dance.
rock and roll panto at Theatre Fluid, isn't it? They can do everything. I'm
Yeah,
very envious of those type of people.
yeah, really talented. So that is going to be truly special. And then we should add that the other two plays that are being put on at Grosvenor Park Open Air Theatre are the Shakespearean farce, The Merry Wives of Windsor, which starts 4th of June, followed by the Jane Austen penned romantic comedy Pride and Prejudice, which starts on the 9th of July. And it's great that we'll also see the welcome return to the city of another former Corrie star and playwright and Chester Mystery Plays 2018 writer Deborah McAndrew, who has adapted Pride and Prejudice for the outdoor stage. So I can't wait to see what she
Yeah,
comes up with.
love
It's
to
going to,
see that. Yeah,
going
be
to be
interested to see
good.
how she's adapted that.
Yeah,
It's quite a hard one to
definitely.
do on stage. So
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine that being presented with an absolute classic and sort of tasked with making it your own? I don't
oh,
envy her.
it's hard. Yeah,
More really talented people.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so Grosvenor Park Open Air Theatre goes right through the summer until the 30th of August. So hopefully there's plenty of chance for everyone to try and get hold of some tickets and enjoy that. And for more info on that, visit grosvenorpark.co.uk. You're listening to the Good Enough Human Show on Circle 8 Radio in association with We Are Chester. Now, for families in Chester and North Wales and thereabouts, there's a lot of excitement amongst the younger generation over cities and open spaces and parks opening up again, and lots of fun stuff for families with younger children to do. And I know, Antonia, you have a younger son, and you'll be one of those families who are raring to get out and to do more things. So, do you want to tell us a bit more about what in particular you two are looking forward to doing in the summer?
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many times you can walk around the parks in North Wales, so we're desperate to get over to Chester. And one of the things we're looking at in particular to go at the weekend is to the little train in the Grosvenor Park. It's something that my
Oh,
son's been to every year since he was little, and he's desperate. He's like, "Is that open yet?" And yeah, it's just a lovely little train ride around the park, and I love going to the park. We take the ball, and uh, he loves actually playing on the park there as well, on all the equipment. It's a really nice park, so we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to also getting to go to the Crocky Trail. That's another one of our favourite places to go to.
oh, wow.
Um, yeah, it's a really fun place to go. And yeah, I mean, we've kind of done North Wales to death really over lockdown. And I think over the past 3 weeks we've been lucky enough to have the likes of Loggerheads and Mulvamai open up. So we've done all the walks. So now he's just desperate to get and actually physically do things and go on equipment. He asked me today if Flip Out was open. I was like, no, not at the moment. So a bit more time to wait for that. But yeah, there's a website actually, Facebook page called Clued Up with Kids, and that's where I kind of get my inspiration about places and to go to. There's Clued Up with Kids Cheshire and Clued Up with Kids North Wales and Flintshire, I think. And yeah, it just gives parents the chance to review places or post recommendations on where they've been or what's opening up. So we've done all the National Trust places recently in North Wales. So we'll be venturing over to Tatton Park, I think, in the coming weeks. And Delamere as well. That's another one that we're looking forward to going to.
Oh, wow. That sounds amazing. I like the idea of going on that little train in the park. I haven't been on it for years since my kids were younger.
Lovely. I love it.
It's really cute, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever grow out. I mean, he's 6 now and he keeps asking to go on it. I don't think he'll ever stop wanting to go on it. Oh, I hope he doesn't, because I love going on it as well, like a big kid.
Oh, it's magical, isn't it? And I've got to say, you made a very good point as well about, you can spend a fortune as a parent, can't you, taking kids to places, but some of the best places where they'll have the most magical adventures are free or cheap, like having a picnic in the park, going on the little train, having a wander by the river in Chester, and magical.
And ice cream, yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to spend a fortune. I think that's something that struck me through lockdown. I've come to appreciate the simple things in life.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, I think it's change of surroundings as well, because we've obviously been in North Wales, so we've not ventured over the border for months now. So it's just that change of scenery. So even if it's just a walk in the park, I mean, we've been doing walks in the park over in North Wales for ages, but it's just that change of scenery, like we mentioned in our previous podcast. It's good to see other places. So I know he's so excited about the weekend, going to the river, having an ice cream, and going on the train. So
that sounds like the perfect day out.
hope the sun shines.
Fingers crossed. And I've got to say as well, looking from the other way, Chester facing into North Wales, I know so many people, me included, that really miss going up Moel Famau for a walk or meeting friends at Loggerheads. So it's been the same for us, longing to come into North Wales.
Thought of that. Yeah.
And we've missed out on that, and we're excited about that. So it's a change of scenery, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, because I was posting pictures of going to Loggerheads, and I went to Aber Falls in Llanfairpwllgwyngyllgogery, which is northwest Wales, last week when we were on half term, and all my friends in England were like, wow, where's this? And I can't wait to get on Moel Famau. I'm really envious. And I'm like, well, I'm envious about coming into England. So I love Delamere Forest, so and places like that, so in Tatton Park. So yeah, I think I'm envious of you guys as well in England, but we can travel now, which is great.
I know, it's such a novelty, such a thrill.
It seems so silly saying that we can travel across the border. Like I said before, it's what we took for granted, wasn't it? So
we absolutely did, didn't we? We took so much for granted, and I feel like it's really changed us for the better in so many ways. It's been a tough year, but I think we
still feel a bit apprehensive about getting back into normal life.
I don't know about you, but yeah, I do a bit. I think we've got used to our sort of restrictions, haven't we, and our limited boundaries. And the thought of going to a really busy place now can make you feel a bit, oof. I think it's taking baby steps, isn't it? And being kind to ourselves. And easing ourselves back into it, I think. We'll get there. Flexing those social muscles again. What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. I've been used to doing the same old walks and seeing limited people. So I think it will be interesting. I think I'm looking forward to seeing people I've not seen for a while. But we do have to bear in mind, like the news keeps telling us, it's still out there. The virus is still live and kicking, shall we say. And I know people are getting the vaccine, and it's rolling out pretty quickly across the UK. But I think I've spoken to colleagues and friends also, and they're also concerned about not just the anxiety of socialising, full stop. It's the fear of still being in contact with potential virus. So Yeah, I
Yeah,
think like
absolutely.
you said, it's baby steps, and it's being a bit aware that it's still out there, and just being conscious of it and being careful, as we all try to do with our masks and sanitizer. And I think some people think, oh, it's all opened up now, so, well, most of it's opened up, so it's gone away.
Yeah, we
So
need to be vigilant, don't we, still? Absolutely. And
yeah,
I've kind of got so used to wearing masks now and keeping my distance that I think it would take quite a
yeah,
bit to get out of the habit.
yeah. My friend was saying that yesterday. She said, she'd be quite happy wearing a mask long term. And I thought, I'm not sure if I could do that. I am used to it, but I do feel
Yeah.
sometimes, especially when the summer months come. I remember what it was like last year.
Mm.
It's not very comfortable, is it, walking around the shops with a mask on? But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just more
It's
there, I guess.
certainly been one heck of a year. And it sounds a bit cheesy, but gosh, we should all pat ourselves on the back, shouldn't we,
I know, and we're
for
halfway
getting
through
through
this
it.
year already. We're almost halfway through.
Gosh,
Can you believe how fast it's gone?
it is flying by, isn't it? Flying
I
by.
mean, 2 more weeks will be in May, and that's just
Gosh.
incredible.
And the blossom is all over the shop, isn't it? On the trees.
Oh,
And
I just love it. I love this time of year.
me
I really
too,
like
me
I really
too.
like spring. I've got a blossom tree in the garden, and
Oh,
I look out of my work, well, home office, and at the blossom tree, and it's so lovely. I love all the daffodils as well. I went to Erddig actually last weekend, and the flowers and the daffodils over at the National Trust property, just lovely. Just really appreciate
oh.
nature at the moment.
Yeah, me too. I love flowers. Don't get me started on flowers and nature. I have to laugh at myself sometimes. I'm definitely reaching peak middle age because I'm enjoying chatting to friends about Monty Don and Gardener's World and
Oh,
planting bulbs and things. So
oh, do
yeah.
you? I'm not a gardener. I appreciate a nice flower bed, but I
I
don't want
play
to get
at
my
it.
nails dirty.
I no, I play at it. I think I like watching more than anything and
Oh
pottering about,
yeah.
but
Some people find it therapeutic gardening. I
yeah.
don't think. I mean, my dad cuts the grass still for me, and no, I don't think I'd be any good at getting my nails full of mud or whatever.
I know what you mean. It'd be nice to have a gardener come in, wouldn't it, and
Oh,
just
I'd love
say,
that.
"Yeah, can you just yeah, sort out over there a bit and some nice marigolds to look at and daffodils and yeah, that would be the dream."
Quite
Oh,
therapeutic.
definitely, definitely. So, thinking of other fun places for families to visit, anyone to visit really, I noticed this week that Chester Zoo have reopened as well.
Yeah, it's so good. We've been waiting for this moment for a number of months. The last time we visited, I think it was in September, and yeah, it was really good because we could still go into some of the indoor enclosures, and I think they are open some more this time round. But it's just a fantastic day out. It's definitely one for the next couple of weeks. I don't think we'll go straight away, so I think it's going to be really fully booked this weekend. Um, I'm a member. Are you a member as well?
No, I used to be. I used to be. So I
Yeah,
may
the
well
children
join.
are young.
Yeah, I may well join again at some point. But yeah, I
Yes,
really want to go back there. It's such a
it's
lovely
just a
place.
it's a great day out. So yeah, we're so looking forward to that. So that's on the list as well.
Great,
Um,
great. Lots to look forward to.
yeah.
Okay, so we were talking earlier about looking forward to setting foot back inside theatres again, and we mentioned about Storyhouse and the Open Air Theatre. Another theatre, which I know we have dearly missed setting foot inside, is the wonderful Theatre Clwyd in Mould in Flintshire, just over the border from Chester. I think it's fair to say we've been there a fair few times over the years and absolutely loved it. Because I think for you and I, Antonia, as well, one of the highlights of our year is going to the Panto.
Absolutely love the Panto. I mean, Theatre Clwyd has been a major part of my life growing up. It's just down the road from my house, and a family member worked there for many years. So I have fond memories of Theatre Clwyd and the Panto every year. I've not missed a Panto. And yeah, I'm so excited that it's reopened. I actually parked there yesterday because I went on a walk around that area. So I parked in the council across the way from Peter Clwyd, and I walked up to the building. And it was quite sad because it's usually um,
Oh,
it's got the doors open and you can see people in there and there's activity. And last time I actually went there was sometime last year. I think it was around Halloween. I watched The Addams Family. I took my son to watch one of the films there, Addams Family, and it was so sad when I walked in because that time of year it's buzzing. It's usually gearing up for the panto season, and everything's decked out and the trees up and everything, and it was just really sad. So I'm so excited that it's opening up again. And the news that came, I think it was last week, that it's now becoming an independent trust. I mean, it's been a major part of Flintshire County Council for, 44 years, Angela?
Yeah, I remember going there. I've got a photo of me on a primary school trip from my school at Ysgol Penneforth in Flintshire, going to watch Pippi Longstocking. And it's one of my absolute favourite childhood memories, going on the school bus at a big old double-decker bus, a Crossville bus.
They still do that now, don't they? My son's school still goes to the panto. And do you remember when Anthony Hopkins came there? That was kind of like a key moment for Theatre Clwyd, and Prince Charles has been there. So you remember all these pictures of people outside with famous people. But it's been a great theatre for so many actors and actresses, and I just love the place, and I can't wait to see it thrive again. And I know Flintshire County Council, it's done an amazing job over the years, but for it to now become, to move away from council ownership and to become independent, it's just a huge step for the theatre.
Yeah, absolutely. And under the sort of creative, watchful eye of Liam Evans-Ford, the executive director, and Tamara Harvey, the artistic director, they've taken the baton and run with it and built on the theatre's reputation. I know that there's a famous theatre writer called Mark Shenton, and he flagged up on social media the other day. He posted a blog post about some of his favourite theatres, and Theatre Clwyd got a really good mention in there.
Really?
It was in
That's
his top theatres. Storyhouse got a little mention, but Theatre Clwyd was right up there. So, yeah, they really do stand out, don't they?
And it's been, over the years, I remember growing up, that it's always had that threat of closure. And, it's been touch and go at times in terms of funding. So now for them to be able to secure the long-term future, it's just great news. It's great for the community and the wider, the surrounding area, because I mean there's people from all over, Liverpool, Manchester. It's renowned for its panto, the rock and roll panto. So people come from all over to see it, and there's some brilliant productions on as well, not just the panto.
And the atmosphere is just electric, isn't it, when you go in there? The children love it, the adults love it, because there are jokes for adults as well as jokes for the kids. And it's magical. Truly magical.
It just makes me smile every time I pass it. It's just like, I can't wait till it opens again. And I just feel like just how when we walk into the Story House and how we feel just happy.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel happy being in there.
One of our happy places. We need those, don't we? Definitely.
Yeah. So when does it reopen then? Do you know?
I don't know in terms of the Welsh regulations on that. We'll have to check on that one and maybe share the details via our social media channels.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's been announced yet, has it?
No, I don't think so, because the latest news we've had is literally that they have announced, becoming an independent trust. So I'm sure they'll keep us posted and let us know as soon as possible when they've got a reopening date, and we'll be back there as soon as we possibly can. Yeah. Talking of theatre and the acting world, we can't let this show pass without mentioning a success story for a local acting school and a local actor. Daryl Rowlands, 26, who works as a legal assistant at the Connells Group on Bridge Street in the city. Apparently, she has just finished filming her part in a new BBC cop drama called The Responder, alongside none other than Martin Freeman. And this is all through doing acting classes with North West End Acting School, run by esteemed actors, Francis Tucker and Lucy Thatcher, who between them have got a heck of a lot of TV, stage, musicals experience. And I know that I can speak from experience here because I did acting classes for them with a bit, and they are brilliant. It's so much fun, and you get to meet so many people, including an influential theatre agent who worked with Daryl and has taken her on as her agent and helped her to secure this fantastic role, which understandably she's over the moon about and got some time off from her job to do that. And she's obviously really passionate about all things drama and theatre and acting, because she also writes plays and produces short films. So we look forward to being able to watch that when it airs either later this year or early 2022. And if you are listening to this and think, oh, I quite fancy having a go at acting classes for a confidence boost, or whether you want to get into acting, you can go to the northwestendactingschool.co.uk website or call 07976 586 060. And the next 10-week course of adult acting classes starts the week commencing 18th of April. Okay,
Exciting.
so
quite
doing
a bit of
good fun.
amateur dramatics.
Yeah.
And Daryl's only 26. She's really talented. All the stuff she does. Gosh.
Fantastic. Yeah.
You're listening to the Good Enough Human Show on Circle 8 Radio. So myself and Ange have been talking about all the exciting things happening in and around Chester over the summer, and one thing in particular, Diva Fest. So it returns to the Chester Lakes this summer. It wasn't on last year, was it, Angela? So this year's lineup is bigger and better than ever. We've got Sophie Ellis-Bextor headlining, Scouting for Girls, Heather Small, and the Symphonic Ibiza. And I think from a couple of friends who've been to this festival before, it's really family friendly, isn't it? So there's music, food, and it's like a lifestyle festival. So good for all the family. And it's happening on Friday the 13th to Sunday the 15th of August at Chester Lakes in Doddleston. And I believe tickets are now on sale. For more information, you can visit divafest.co.uk website, or you can visit their social media channels, Diva Fest.
Now we also turn our attention to a bit of a heritage project to look forward to in the city, and the return of the hugely popular Chester Unlocked project, where there were about 30 mini museums located across the city back in 2016. Doesn't seem that long ago, does it? It was originally created by the Heritage Agency, Big Heritage, in partnership with the Grosvenor Museum and Chester Bid, who look after lots of businesses in the centre of Chester. And the aim was to encourage visitors to the city to visit shops, bars and restaurants, to view specially curated museum displays, bits and pieces linked to the venue in which they were hosted. And it went on to win loads of awards. Well, there's a new version of it, which is great news. And it's coming as part of the Chester High Street Heritage Action Zone initiative, which is a new one on me, but it sounds fab. It's a Historic England initiative aiming to boost economic growth in 68 historic high streets in England, using the history of the city as a catalyst. And I'm intrigued because they're talking about making digital initiative where there'll be historic Harry Potter style portrait frames popping up around Chester's famous historic rows. Oh, intriguing. Wow. Yeah, it sounds fun, doesn't it?
Like digital screens, or?
Yeah, there'll be a digital portrait of a person from Chester's past from our local museum collections.
We could do a little tour spotting them all.
Yeah, sounds good, doesn't it? It sounds intriguing. A bit of history and modern technology combined. I'm liking it.
For digital.
Absolutely. And then apparently there are going to be a series of games launched around the city too, using tech again. And now I'm intrigued by this as well, turning the rows into a live Dungeons and Dragons style game. So, wow. Yeah, it's all go in Chester. Absolutely all go. So I'm looking forward to that. And apparently, if there are any retailers who have shops or businesses on the rows and they'd like to take part in the project, they should email haz at bigheritage.co.uk to register their interest. And the first elements of the project are due to be rolled out across Chester throughout the summer and expanded once the final COVID-19 restrictions are lifted. Okay. Can I just add here as well, a little bit of a poignant mention really, that I'm very aware that Browns of Chester, an historic department store that's been in the city for years, is due to close its doors for good in the not too distant future. And that's so sad. And I'm sure you've visited, we've all visited at some point over the years. I worked there back in the day when I was about 18 for a bit in the lingerie department and ladies casual wear. And I have happy memories of my time there. And
incredibly sad. It's been a major store in the city for years.
yeah.
I think we all know someone that's worked there, and we've all shopped there, and it's a lovely building. It's such a shame.
Yeah, and I think what I'll do is I'll share on social media. I'll keep sharing. There's a really lovely lady who works there called Maria Barnard, and I think she goes under the name handle Busy2711 on Twitter, but I'll share it on social media. But she's produced a load of videos which are like behind the scenes tours, and she's amazing. She's even produced some Browns of Chester tote bags and enamel pin badges to mark the occasion, because it's heartbreaking. It's so poignant, and we just hope that something can be done. Obviously, I hope that all those working in the store can find new work afterwards. That's really heartbreaking. And also, I hope the store can be preserved in some shape or form for posterity, because it's close to our hearts. Yeah, close to our hearts. So I thought I'd mention that, and we will share via social media those links to the videos if you want to have a watch or try and call into the store before it closes for good. I think in about 5 or 6 weeks' time.
So we're almost at the end of the show now. As we mentioned, there's so much to do in the coming months around Chester, in and around Chester. So for more information on what to see and do in and around Chester over the coming months, keep an eye out on our social media accounts and our website. It'll be up to date, and you'll be able to see what's happening as things start opening up. We'll also be continuing to bring you interviews with various folk from Chester and further afield, both here on our Circle 8 radio show and also on our podcast, The Good Enough Human. So if you've also got an event coming up, feel free to get in touch with us. You can contact us via our social media channels or on our email address, which is wearechester@gmail.com. So if you've got any events coming up over the summer period, get in touch so we can promote those for you.
So we are just about out of time now. And that leaves me just enough time to say thank you so much for listening in to our show here on Circle 8 Radio and our podcast. Take care. Please do stay safe as we come out of lockdown, and we will see you soon.